Hello, everyone, and welcome to BGSU's informational webinar today. We are with our College of Technology, Architecture, and Applied Engineering to present information on their master's and PhD programs. And we're just pleased to welcome you all to this session. My name is Keith Ramsdell, and I'm the Director of Graduate Enrollment and Assistant Dean in the Graduate College here at BGSU. And with me is Dr. Alan Atala, who's the Associate Dean and Professor in that college. And welcome, Dr. Atala.
Thank you.
And with me on the line, we also have my colleague, Sherry Leatherman. And Sherry works with me in the Graduate College. Sherry, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Great. And Sherry will be responding to the questions that you ask throughout the session. So with that, let me go on ahead and give you some just basic webinar instructions. Our participants will be muted throughout the session today. However, you can always ask questions by typing directly into the question box. So if you look over to the right side of your screen, you can see the control panel, and there's a questions area there. And throughout the session, you can type your questions in at any time, and Sherry will be monitoring those, responding to those, and in some cases, maybe holding on to those until the end when we'll be asking if you have any questions. We'll be able to address those then for everyone who's a part of the webinar today. Our agenda for the webinar is to give you kind of an overview of Bowling Green State University. Dr. Atala will present learning outcomes for the various programs in the college, as well as some of the strengths and uniqueness. In other words, why would you want to consider coming to Bowling Green State University for the programs that we have to offer? He'll also talk a little bit about the curriculum in each of those programs, as well as perhaps some of the faculty who are part of that, and he teaches in that college. And then we'll also talk about professional opportunities and some of the jobs that students out of those programs obtain upon graduation. And then I'll kind of close our formal time together by talking about the admission requirements as well as the tuition and fees, so you get a holistic sense of what would be expected if you choose to apply and enroll here at Bowling Green State University. So with that, I want to give you just a sense of who we are. Bowling Green State University is a public university founded in 1910. And so we're not a new college. We've been around for over 100 years. We are one of Ohio's state universities or publicly funded universities. And I think with that, one of the most important things I can share with you is the fact that we are accredited, fully accredited by the Higher Learning Commission. And the Higher Learning Commission is the highest level of accreditation that a university can obtain in the United States. So there may be other schools that you're more familiar with. They have a more recognizable name or whatever the case might be. But we're very proud of the fact that we offer the same quality of education as any other school in the United States at the highest level. And we take that very seriously when our students, especially from overseas, come and enroll in one of our programs. We are located about 30 miles south of Toledo, Ohio, and I'll show you a map in just a couple minutes so you get a sense of proximity to some of the other major city centers in the eastern half of the United States. Our campus comprises over 1,300 acres and 119 buildings, and we currently enroll over 19,000 students from all 50 states within the United States and 70 countries abroad. And so we have a very diverse population, and in fact, in the graduate college alone, we have about 1,000 of our students, or nearly 1,000 of our students, are in fact from other countries. And so you can see we have about 2,600 graduate students total. And so that is a very diverse population, and we're very proud of that. We think it brings a rich environment to our classroom experience, and we're excited again that you're considering being a part of that. Again, just to give you a sense of proximity, you can see on the map here on your screen where Bowling Green is located. Toledo is right at the western edge of Lake Erie. It's where the orange and green colors would come together, right between Bowling Green and Detroit. Detroit, Michigan is about an hour to our north, which is a kind of a hub of manufacturing and technology. To our west, about 4 hours, is Chicago, which you're probably very familiar with. And then to our east, along the east coast of the United States, you can see on the map there New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., many of the larger city centers that you're familiar with. Those are all an easy day's drive, probably about 8 hours from us. And those tend to be the areas where a lot of our students, perhaps they're getting into internship experiences, or they're interviewing for positions after graduation. So we are in a very good proximity to a lot of major city centers. And again, we think that's important for you to know. With that now, I'm going to hand over to Dr. Atala, who's going to talk us through the programs that he offers in his college.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate that. One of the things that maybe I would like to add is that also in our neck of the wood, in our area in Ohio, there are a lot of industries also as well, and a great percentage of our graduates, maybe graduates in the College of Technology, also work in our neck of the wood in Ohio, and work all over the world, actually, all over the United States, and they are very well respected. I will start by give you a brief background about what are we going to talk about today related to our degree. We are going to talk about the Master of Architecture, Master of Education in Learning Design, and Master of Technology Management with a concentration in Construction Management, and Master of Technology Management with concentration in Engineering Technology, and Master of Technology Management with specialization in Quality System. And then we will talk about a very exciting program in the PhD in Technology Management that we will talk about in this presentation. So let's start. The Master of Architecture is basically, it allows a student, it is a marriage between engineering and art. And and building a bridge between these two world. One of the good things about this program also is that it is in the accreditation phase to enable the graduate to be a licensed professional architecture, which is a very important issue for anybody who want to practice architecture in the United States. The full accreditation is expected to be completed in 2017. We have continuation of the accreditation for 2 cycles so far. Our program revolves around digital media and digital technology in design and practice, urban community design, and architecture history and historic preservation. We have one of the leaders in the architecture history and historic preservation that give us also significant strengths in this area. However, the strengths and the competitive advantage of this program is a marriage of architecture design and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is the ability to run your own architecture business and run it successfully, and provide the best value to your clients and your company as well. The courses, this degree require 52 credit hours. I know it's a lot of credit hours, but that is the requirements of the NAB requirements to be able to be licensed. And we have, I'm not going to go through every course. You have our website, you can look at it and get much more details than the time allows here, because I want to allow some time for the questions and the answers. But basically, studio core, about 27 hours of a studio core is probably the biggest chunk of it. There are some courses about professional practices and some seminars and entrepreneurships, and there are technical courses and some business core courses. It's, as I said earlier, it's a marriage of business, entrepreneurship, art, engineering, and industry. Let's move on to the next program that we are going to talk about, which is the Master in Learning Design. This degree is also, I call it the metaphor of marriage of education, training, technology, all of this combined together to be able to develop curricula, develop training programs, research, and the clients that can be served by this are schools, universities, and the big chunk of it is business and industry. Let me give you a simple example. In Toledo, which is about 20 miles from us, is the Chrysler Jeep facility. This is, as you all know, Jeep has facilities all over the world. And let's say they want to train them on a certain new thing. They would, in today's world, we will not going to go everywhere all over the world or bring the people to come here. How we can design a program to deliver the needed education and training for them from here. And the program focus on interactive instructional design, learning theories and strategies, and system development. And let me say one more thing, that this degree is fully online. You can finish this degree without stepping a foot in Bowling Green only when you come for graduation, if you want to walk on the graduation. That is the strength of this degree. The courses that you need are, this requires 36 credit hour or 33, depending on if you are selecting thesis or project, and it basically require program core, 12 semester hours, and synthesis experience 6 hours, and it require also concentration courses, 5 to 6 courses, and they are listed here. One of the things that we should do is to, I don't know if they have the link to our web pages. We will provide that, because I think this might be a good idea, so they get more information about this.
And what we can do with that, Dr. Atala, is when the session is over, we will email everybody, and we can email you those links to those various websites. So we'll take care of that at the conclusion of the session.
Thank you very much. The graduates of our learning design programs can work as a faculty, professor, as leadership. I mentioned the Jeep facility, professional education, training, supervisor, curriculum, people who can design courses for other people. So as I said, it is a marriage of technology, education, and how to educate and how to deliver value to your trainee or students. Okay, the next program I will talk about is a Master of Technology Management with a specialization in construction management. This program, what we are trying to achieve basically through this program and Master of Technology Management in general is, as you all know, when you graduate from a technical program like engineering or architecture or related program, you start your career with a technical, most of what you do is more of a technical aspects. As you grow on your profession, you transition from technical, slowly transition from technical to managerial, supervisor and managerial role, and down the road you would be part of the executive staff in your company. Our main purpose, or that's what we consider goal, and we consider how we evaluate ourselves on our success, is the idea of shortening this path from being 20-25 years. If we can make it 10-15 years, I believe we mission accomplished. And this is our goal of the target of our program. So it's develop leadership skills is very important for us. Ability to manage complex project is something that important. Business operation, problem solving, communication is also very important to us. The courses that you will study in this degree is some are managerial and technical management in their nature, like engineering, economic, data analysis, project management, and things, sustainability, green technology and sustainability, quality culture, and plus there is also 5 specialization courses. As you see, here is a listing of many construction courses: estimating, scheduling, project management, trenchless technology, that's my passion and my love, is ways to put pipes underground without open cut, like tunnels and things like that. I also would like to draw your attention to lead and lean construction. And today, lead is a buzzword. Green construction, green design is a buzzword, and we are taking a leadership in this area. Also, the degree require either a project, applied project, or a thesis, which is so. And the degree requires 33 credit hour. Some of the jobs that the graduate of our program may occupy is project manager, construction manager, estimators, project supervisor, site supervisor, operations scheduler, estimator, instructor, professor. Like me, I feel your pain if you are wanna be like me. Little bit of comic relief doesn't hurt. My wife keeps telling me you are not funny. Don't try to be funny, but I can't help it. Okay. The next degree that we are going to talk about is the Master of Technology Management with a specialization of quality system. Quality system is basically how you can do things right the first time and be efficient and and produce the highest quality possible. One of the key words that you will hear a lot is lean manufacturing and lean and Six Sigma and all of this stuff. And this techniques its roots is in manufacturing industry, but today it is in everything, in running everything, hospitals, medical. We have the city of Bowling Green is using some of our techniques and educating their staff to how to be more lean and efficient in running their operation. It's business, a lot of applications, and it's a hot field today. The degree is also delivered completely online, so that's another big advantage. The courses that are required, it's 33 credit hour total, composed of 4 main groups: program core, which is the same as the one for construction, a specialization, which is 5 courses and it's in quality systems, and the synthesis experience, where you connect all of these different courses together through a project or through a thesis. Some of the jobs that our graduates work on: lean system analysts, quality managers, quality engineers, supply chain manager, quality improvement manager, global quality logistics manager, Six Sigma black belt, ISO coordinator, data analysis. As you see, most of these positions are in high demand today. The next program that we are going to talk about is a Master of Technology Management with a specialization in engineering technology. This program originated from the manufacturing and industrial engineering and industrial technology, and with the industry changing and evolving to include digital communication and advanced manufacturing techniques, we evolved along with it, and we are delivering state-of-the-art education in these areas of industrial engineering and industrial technology. But again, a lot of these principles can be applied to other industries as well. So the courses that you will get: engineering technology, research methods, management, green design, and as you know today, the green energy and green is a very hot topic today. The courses the core is the same as it is in construction and quality system. The synthesis is just in the same field. The specialization is where you get all of these courses. And one of the things that I would like to point to your attention to is that this could be the folks who has electrical engineering background can also apply. We have engineering and electronics and computer technology classes that are not listed here. ECT courses, we get a lot of students. The people who have a computer science background, but they want a little bit more on the networking and the computer technology side. We get a lot of these students as well. And this is a sample course, and we have a much larger set of courses that you will learn about when you go to our website. The jobs that our graduates can occupy is engineering manager, industrial engineer, plant manager, engineering system integrator, development manager, research and development manager, engineering application manager, software and automation engineer, engineering or professor. Okay, I'll spare you the corny joke. Okay, the next degree that we are going to talk about is a degree that's close to my heart because it is really cutting edge. It's a PhD in technology management. It's delivered completely online, where we take advantage of the intellectual horsepower from 5 institutions. We faculty members from 5 institutions join together to deliver a quality. A very well-respected institution. Bowling Green is one of them. East Carolina University, Indiana State University, North Carolina A&T, and University of Central Missouri. The degree is fully delivered online. It has 5 specializations: manufacturing systems, digital communication, and digital communication is more related to electrical and engineering technology. It's kind of a little bit misleading, so I want to clarify this. Human resources is the extension, human resources development and training is an extension of our learning design that we talked about earlier, and was here more emphasis on training. Quality systems and construction management. So you can actually come to our degree and start your master and walk out with a PhD, and a lot of our students do that. Okay, what are the type of courses that I would take in this degree? Here they are, the breakdown of them. 12 credit hours as a technology core, and 18 hours in your specialization. 6 courses in your area of specialization, 9 credit hours of professional studies. It can be internship, it can be courses that's mostly in your area of specialization, but we encourage internship to get the actual hands-on. And one of the things that give us an advantage in the College of Technology is that we have a co-op program. This co-op program have been around for almost 25 years, and we have a very, very strong bridge between the industry and the college. They come to our campus from all over the United States, seeking and looking for talent and people who can advance their company. So you can take advantage of that. And then the dissertation, which is 18 credit hour. And that's the dissertation. There is another 9 hours of research classes that the student has to take. PhD is a life-changing event. It opens some doors and closes some other doors. Here are some of the jobs that the most professor like me, distance education consultant, a lot of people go on in consulting, CEO, chief executive officer, strategic planner, system manager, research, NASA systems, R&D manager, quality system, supply chain manager, manufacturing manager, industrial implementation, Lean Six Sigma coach in industrial setting. In all of these programs, we have basic competitive advantage. Our basic competitive advantage is we have dedicated, well-trained faculty members and staff. They are much better than me, very good and dedicated, and they go way out of their way to help the students. Online education, leadership, excellent mentor-protege environment, which is, in my judgment, this is the hallmark of graduate education. And we provide this, and we do. I believe we do a good job in developing this. Many professional networking and learning opportunity. Remember what I mentioned earlier about the co-op program and the bridge between the college and the industry that has a history, and all the infrastructure is there for you to take advantage of. And now I think it is the time to pass the baton to my dear friend Keith. It's all yours, Keith.
Thank you, Dr. Atala. Well, that is a lot of information to cover on a lot of programs. And what I want to do is I want to wrap our time up, our formal presentation time up here with some of the admission requirements and financial pieces. But I'm sure that based on everything that Dr. Atala has already presented, you probably have lots of questions about the programs, the curricula, those types of things. I would certainly encourage you at this point, if you've got some of those questions that you have not yet submitted through the questions area there on your screen, go on ahead and start doing that right now while I'm going through these last couple slides. With regard to admission requirements, we want to point out that our graduate application is online. It's very convenient to apply either from the program websites or from the graduate college website. So we would encourage you to do that. And as far as application deadlines, many of these programs have rolling admission deadlines, but because many of our audience members today are international students, we oftentimes will use March 1 as a deadline that we say, in order to get into the program, reviewed, admitted, and still have time to apply for your visa and get your visas approved, March 1 is the deadline that we typically say it is a soft deadline, but it is a deadline that we certainly encourage you to kind of hold to. And I know in some of your programs, Dr. Atala, you probably also have deadlines for students who are interested in being funded either for assistantships or scholarships. Yes. Can you share those?
Yes, definitely. If you get your best opportunity to get assistantship is if you get admitted at the beginning of the spring semester, because during the spring we evaluate the applicants for assistantship and allocate the assistantship to the students. So, but you have to be admitted before I start considering you. If you are the greatest person in the world and the most genius person, if you are not admitted, I'm not going to be able to give you assistantship. So being admitted at the beginning of the spring semester, within the next 2 months or two, we are going to evaluate our assistantships. So
perfect. That's good. So again, for both funding purposes as well as getting everything in so that you can get through your visa process, March 1 is the date that we typically recommend. But again, that's a soft deadline, but certainly one that we recommend. We also require a minimum of a 3.0 on a 4-point undergraduate scale. That's the typical or traditional U.S. scale for students applying, in particular from India. I know many of our students on the line today are from India. That would typically mean being in the first class or first division from your undergraduate program. And if you're from a different country today, again, looking at that from the perspective of being equivalent to a 3.0 on a 4-point U.S. scale or a B average or better is kind of what we're looking for there. We do require all official transcripts from the universities that you've attended. We can conduct an initial review based on unofficial, but before you can enroll at BGSU, we would need to have official transcripts. We do require the TOEFL and IELTS, one or the other. We don't have a preference, but we do require one of those for all international applicants. And then we do require GRE scores. That's not applicable for the Master of Architecture, but it is required for all of our other programs. And then down at the bottom of the screen, you can see additional requirements. And what I would encourage you to do is to contact Dr. Atala based on the program that you're considering. Many of our programs that you've heard about require a personal statement. Most require 3 letters of recommendation. Architecture also requires an electronic portfolio of prior design work, but it's some combination of those based on the programs that you've heard about already. And so it's best at that point, and we'll give you our contact information here at the end of the session, but it's best that you contact Dr. Atala directly to get a sense of what else is required. The last thing that I want to bring up is that oftentimes we get the question, is my GPA high enough, or is my GRE score high enough? And it's very important that you understand that we look holistically at your application. So maybe your GPA isn't exactly what we would recommend, but you've got years of work experience in the field, you've got excellent letters of recommendation. That's sufficient to apply, and you would seriously be considered for admission. Or maybe your GRE score isn't exactly what we would hope for, but everything else is really strong. Again, we look at everything you submit, so it's very difficult if you say, I have this score or that GPA, is that sufficient? Very difficult for us to say without seeing your entire application, and then we can give you a true sense of whether or not, one, if you'd be admissible to the program, but two, and again, this is ultimately our goal. Our goal is that if you enroll and we admit you here, that you are successful. And that is ultimately our goal, is the success of the students who enroll here at BGSU. So let's move on to the funding piece here. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is that just on tuition alone, and I would never suggest that it's inexpensive or cheap to go on to a master's program or a PhD program. It certainly is not. However, we're very fortunate that we work at an institution where our base tuition is very, very reasonable. We believe that it's a great value. If you compare it to many other universities throughout the United States, we're very, very competitively priced. For the master's programs, all except for the Master of Architecture, because there's more credit hours required for the Master of Architecture, you would complete the degree for a total cost of about $26,000 US. And for the Master of Architecture, that number would be about $39,000 US. And you can see the breakdown there for per credit hour, instructional and non-res. So it does include, for international students or students from outside of Ohio, $738 is the per credit hour cost, as well as $78.25 per credit hour for the general and graduate services fees. And again, you can see the totals there. In addition to that, you need to take into consideration your books, the cost for room and board. And here at Bowling Green, we don't have on-campus housing for graduate students, master's, PhD students. Most of those students are living in the community, either in apartment buildings, near campus, many of them within walking distance, or maybe a bicycle ride. Many of our students will purchase bicycles, or perhaps private rooms for rent in homes near campus.
And we have a very good shuttle.
And we do have shuttles that work throughout the community, so that's a very good point as well. So again, books, room and board expenses, your travel to and from home you need to take into consideration. Health insurance is required, and you can purchase that through the university, or perhaps you can find another option at home. And then certainly other miscellaneous entertainment and things like that. But the one thing that we also want to point out is that the cost of living in this area of the United States in comparison to most areas of the United States is very affordable. In fact, just last week I was attending a series of meetings in California, and I was shocked to discover that the price for a gallon of gasoline was twice what we're paying here in Ohio. And so again, I can't give you exact numbers, but there are many websites on the internet where you can go search cost of living and do a comparison, because that is a significant portion of what you will spend on a master's or PhD program, and it's very important that you consider all of your costs, and cost of living is one of those. And then finally, we do want to talk a little bit about assistantships and scholarships. You saw that on Dr. Atala's last slide that he covered. We do offer limited and competitive assistantships and scholarships for teaching and research, as well as scholarship. And Dr. Atala, can you just kind of talk a little bit about what those would look like in your various programs?
We basically we try to cover all tuition, if we can't, we cover a good portion of your tuition, and we also pay a stipend for the master students. It's $9,000 per academic year, and for the PhD students, it is $12,000 per academic year. Academic year is about 9 months, so it's really I look at it. It's a good deal. Paying tuition specifically is make it a good deal. My universities that I was in, they give me the money from the right hand, and then they took it through. I have to pay tuition from. So they give me the money with the right hand and take a good portion of it by the left hand. So we don't do that. So, and I think it is, but it's a competitive process. We have limited funds, and we try to give it to the applicants who have the best fit to our needs and our programs, and they have the ability to provide the best value for our students.
Great. And again, we just want to remind you that if that's something you're interested in, you're planning to apply, or you're at least considering applying, that in order to be competitive for that, you need to apply sooner than later. Again, with a priority date that we're looking at of about March 1st. And so you've still got several weeks to get all of your application materials in. So with that, I'm going to put our contact information up on your screen. Again, if you have general admissions questions, I'm happy to address those. And Dr. Atala's email is listed there for you on the screen. And as we get into some of these, this Q&A time, question and answer time, if you have not already asked your questions, this would be the appropriate time to go on ahead and type that into the question panel there on your screen. And Sherry, with that, we're going to come over to you now and see what questions perhaps you've already received.
Yes, I do have a question in regards to the PhD in technology management. We have somebody wondering if you would waive the GRE based on their years of experience.
For the PhD programs, GRE is needed. There is no if and there is no but about it. It is needed. It is essential, and we are not asking for a very high score. We are asking just to be within the top 50 percentile for our program. We have different specializations where we look. If somebody is interested in digital communication, we expect you to have a little bit higher score in math, because this increases your chances of success having this foundation in it. So the GRE is essential for essential part of the application requirements for the PhD.
Thank you, Dr. Atala. That seems to be all the questions we have for today.
All right. Well, we're going to give you just a few more minutes. I see that we have several people who are participating in the webinar, and there may still be some additional questions out there. So we're going to hold that thought for just a minute while you maybe consider some additional questions. But one of the things that I'm going to ask Dr. Atala has to do with, it seems like the job market is something that, almost every student who considers going on for a master's or a PhD, we're always looking at, what am I going to be able to do when I'm done? And we looked at some of those job titles. but I also know that the various programs in the College of Technology are well connected with the professional marketplace. We've already talked about, our proximity to various companies throughout the region. But what are some of the things that go on within the campus here and with the faculty and so forth that will help those students find employment when they graduate?
I think the biggest thing is the presence of the infrastructure through the co-op program that has the relationship between companies in Ohio and neighboring state and all over the United States. We have big companies come to our campus at least twice a year, if not 3 or 4 times, coming from Arizona, coming from California, coming from New York, to try to recruit our students. So taking advantage of this, whenever a company come to our campus, whether it is a career fair or a banquet or industry advisory board meeting or reward event, or a spotlight night, we every semester we have about 4 or 5, actually much for each program. We have 4 or 5 in every semester takes place. So taking advantage of all of these opportunities, it is the company representative coming to campus looking for the smart and hardworking individuals to recruit. This is, and you start, you are in this process, you are more than a piece of paper. You are more than a resume. You are a resume, and you are an individual who has abilities, who has communication abilities, who has skills, who has ability to demonstrate what value you can provide to the company.
Well, and that's a great point, Dr. Atala. And you just mentioned the fact that we have these career fairs, and in fact, our big career fair on campus for this semester is actually next week. And those career fairs are organized by our Career Center. And so for the students who enroll here at Bowling Green State University, that office and the team that they have work with our students actively on preparing their resumes, helping them to develop their interviewing skills, helping them to prepare to tell their own stories, so that when they're meeting with those companies, when they're on campus or off campus, wherever it may be, that they are prepared to be successful and to be able to connect with those prospective employers in a way that's meaningful and hopefully get the jobs that they're seeking after graduation. So that really is an important part of the process here. It's not just the classroom. It's really preparing you for a career and then helping you go out and find that employer that's a good fit for you when you're done.
And we have these facilities also. We provide these services through the college. So you have 2 channels. Mm-hmm. You have the channel through the college and the Career Center. Good point.
Great. So Sherry, with that, let's come over to you one last time and see if you have any questions that have come in.
No, we haven't received any new questions.
Great. Well, thank you so much for that, Sherry. Apparently, we've answered the questions, but we do want to encourage you to write down our contact information, our email addresses one last time. And with that, we just want to thank you again for spending some time with us today, learning about the various programs that we offer here at Bowling Green State University. And on behalf of Dr. Alan Atala and Sherry Leatherman and myself, thank you for your interest in Bowling Green State University. We hope that you'll choose to apply and at least consider the programs that we have here. And we look forward to hearing from you in the future.
Thank you.